Hello and welcome my guys, and in today's video I'm gonna show you a tutorial on how to install Monsternomicon. So if you actually enjoy this type of content and want to see more of this content, please make sure to drop your like and subscribe. You know that subscribe is super helpful for me, and if you actually enjoy the content and really think this helps you and it's a good content, please subscribe because it really helps the channel a lot. You guys have no idea. And this video is also sponsored, and let me tell you, it is sponsored by Zodiac again, because he was the one that actually taught me how to install this mod, because I didn't know so far. He is the sponsor of today's video again, I would guess, but yeah, Zodiac, thank you so much for teaching me how to actually do this. And without more delay, let's jump into the video right now. Also, check links in the description to follow my others. Okay, so let's start with how you install the Monsternomicon. So as you see, I am on a page. So the first thing you want to do is come into this page, links in the description again. So manual download, there we go. And you want to come and manual download this first version. This one doesn't really matter to you unless you are actually playing on dedicated server. The installation might be different from what you're seeing here. So I'm not gonna tap into that very much because I don't know what to do in a dedicated server. I don't own one. I know a guy that actually owns one. So if you actually need a couple of advices, just let me know. I'll be sure to ask him, or you guys can go ahead and ask him. I'll point you guys a direction. So you may download this one. Nice. Whenever you press this, you're gonna see you need custom rates, you need Monsterlabz, you need RRRmonsters, RRR non-player characters, and spawn dead, and you also need RRRCore. Without that, the RRR will not work. So okay, let's jump into all of these things that you actually need to have before we actually install the Monsternomicon. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna manual download hook generator and also Jotunn, as you see, because I don't know if it's necessary for this mod pack, but you just put it in. It's not gonna hurt anyway, right? So to make sure that this fully works, so you download Jotunn, you download HookGen, you download the Monsternomicon, and now you need to download custom rates. There we go. Manual download that, and you do the slow download, and then you press the slow download here. Nice. You need to download Monsterlabz here as well. So manual download, you have the thing, and you just press slow download, and we'll give you the Monsterlabz file. You also need that. You need spawn that, very simple. You also press download and make the slow download, simple again. You need RRRCore, which is this thing. You press manual download, RRRNpcs, and RRRmonsters, and there we go. So these are all the mod packs that you will need. They are quite a few, I'm not gonna lie, but if you follow the tutorial, everything is gonna be in place fairly easy. It's not so hard. Okay, there we go. Again, we're gonna create a folder, doesn't really matter the name again, and you want to have a folder called config, another one called patches, and another one called plugins, just so you have everything organized. Whenever you have to put all of these files into Valheim, they're gonna go straight into the exact folders, and everything is already correct from the beginning. I just like the tactic because you really are being very organized, and that will make your life so much easier. So you just kind of create this folder. So now you just want to start to pick up some stuff. So let's just go with the Jotunn first, for example. I don't think you actually need this to actually make the mod run, but honestly, I would very much rather to actually put this in here, because you'll never know. If you need it, well, you're fine. It's gonna work anyway. Extract the Jotunn, pick up the DLL, and you put it on plugins. Simple. Jotunn is out of the way. You don't need that anymore. Now you want HookGen, because you actually need this for Jotunn to work. So you open up the patches, you open up this folder, and on these patches here, you drag these things inside. There we go. That's nice. Patches done. And now you want to open the config file. It says HookGen, and you actually pick up this file and you put it in on your config. So that's it. Simple. HookGen is done. So now let's go with the actual RRR. So you extract the core one. There we go. And the only thing you need from this RRR are the plugins. So you actually just drag this inside of the plugins. As you can see, RRRCore in my plugins. So that's nice. I don't need RRR anymore. Now I'm gonna go with the monsters, for example. So I'll extract here. Okay, again, you only need this plugin, the RRRmonsters plugin. So you drop the DLL onto the plugins. Cool, this is out of the way. Another NPC, RRRNpc, extract here. And again, the only thing you need is the plugin again. So you drop that into your plugins. It's going to be called RRRNpc. So that's nice, done. You don't need that anymore. Let's go with a spawn that. You extract the spawn that, there we go. Again, you only need the DLL, so you put that on your plugins, there we go. Spawn that out of the way. You also want to extract your custom rates, boom, there we go. And the only thing you need with the custom rates is actually the DLL again, so you drop that on your plugins, nice. So now you need to actually install Monsterlabz, because some of the monsters that the mod has are part of the Monsterlabz mod, which I already showed you how to install, and I already showcased you what the mod does. Monsterlabz is very simple. You extract it, then you have this folder called plugins, and then whenever you open those plugins, you have this Monsterlabz, and you pick up this entire folder and drag it into the plugins, as you can see. So you should have something like this. After the Monsterlabz is done, like so, you should have something like this right now. You should have Valheim spawned DLL, Valheim custom rates DLL, RRRnpcs, RRRmonsters, RRRCore DLLs, the Jotunn, and this Monsterlabz folder. What this folder has, it's an asset and a script as a DLL. So that's fairly simple. Your patches should be something like this. This is for the hook generator for the Jotunn, because we don't know if you actually need the Jotunn or not. And then this is the config file that you need for the HookGen as well. So that's what it looked like. So now let's actually install the Monsternomicon after all of that. So you extract the Monsternomicon here. It says config. There we go. And if you open, you will see all of these things, right? So the only thing you actually need to go ahead and do is pick up this folder and drag it into the config. That's it. There we go. Done. So this is done. Now you don't need to do anything else. All your mods are in the right folders. Okay. So now what you actually need to go ahead and do is just pretty much go ahead and put this into the local, into the directory of Valheim. So that's what you're going to do next. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is go into Valheim, properties, local files, and browse. There we go. I'm sorry, it's on my secondary screen. There we go. So this is your Valheim directory with the Bepinex installed. I would guess you already know how to install Bepinex, so there's that. If you don't know anything about Bepinex, just leave a comment down below. I'll help you as soon as possible. So now you open your folder, whatever the name you called. In my case is monster. There we go. So I'm actually gonna put one down and one up so you can actually see. So this is the monster and this is the Bepinex, the directory of Valheim. So as you can see, we have plugins, patches, and config. So the same thing happens here: config, patches, and plugins. So you now just gonna come, okay, configs. This is your config files. You come here, cut, open configs in the Valheim directory, and you control V, or you just replace it in there. So because I already have HookGen installed, I'm gonna replace the file. You don't have to replace the file if you already have it, but it never hurt. So you just do that. It's gonna replace the file. If you have HookGen patch already installed, it's gonna replace that file. If you don't have it, you're just gonna put this thing in there, and the Windows will say absolutely nothing to you. So okay, the configs are out of the way. Our config folder is out and there's nothing inside, as you can see. So now let's jump inside of the patches. So this is pretty much the patches for the HookGen. So you want to do the same thing, cut, and you want to come into the Valheim directory and you actually go into patches. And there we go. And because I already have it installed, you could just do Control V and everything will be in there. In my case, I would have to replace the files. They don't really matter because I already have them there. The patches are now empty. As you can see, what we have to do now is just to open up our plugins folder. And as you can see, this is everything in there. I'm going to open my own one. I have Hook, Jotunn, and this is two mods that I tend to use on my normal showcase. So I do enjoy those two mods. They are part of my showcase thing. So yeah, but what you want to do now is actually just cut all of this and you just Control V in there. It's gonna say for me to replace the Jotunn file, so I might have to replace this or not. It doesn't really matter, honestly. So let me just replace that. There we go. As soon as you run the game, you will have this hook, and you don't really need to drag this inside because you don't actually have access to this hook thing. You just install the hook like I showed you, and then you run the game one time and the hook will be good to go. And yeah, so you drag all of this inside, and now the folder that we organized should be empty and all in the correct spots. So this means you don't need this folder anymore, and means that I'm likely to have Monsternomicon working. So if I remember right, Monsternomicon adds monsters to the forgotten biomes. So for example, Deep North, the Mistlands, and all other biomes. So I'm gonna start the game now and we'll see if everything is installed correctly. Okay, let's go for the final moment. Let me actually press play. remove this. I actually want to see these things, so I'm gonna actually highlight it. Oh no, my bad. Let me actually see if there's absolutely no errors or something that's like not an issue. So Jotunn targets wrong version of Bepinex. So that means I installed the Jotunn that was upgraded, or it's not the same version that's compatible with the Bepinex. So that might be an issue if you actually need this to run the mod. So it doesn't really matter. Game is loading and the Bepinex is showing. Let's see the errors. Filters can be played. Place a custom filter audio clip. So this is audio, doesn't really matter. It's missing an audio clip, doesn't really matter. Warning: RRR monsters true. RRR monsters true. So that means the RRR monsters are working, so they should be spawning. It said adding 18 custom items to the object DB. I don't know what that means, but I would guess that's the monsters. So there's that. I'm gonna press start. I'm gonna choose this character. I'm gonna choose my world, and we will see if I can actually go inside. Okay, so there we are inside. Let me actually just give myself a little bit of a sheet. There we go. So if everything is actually right, the only thing I actually need to do right now is go to another biome. Let me actually clear this fog here because I want you to see this clearly. So, and there we go. It's working, my guys. One of the spiders just spawned in. This is a, don't know the name, but it's part of the mod pack. Another spider. This is actually quite a big spider though. The size is really, really cool. So another one of these guys. One of these guys in here. And yeah, you know that this mod adds a bunch of monsters, so if you actually want to see what monsters this mod adds, you can actually go ahead and check my video, my showcase video. I'm pretty sure it's out already. So yeah, as usual, the video is over, and subscribe.